Racing in the EVO race series category C, pretty flat on the French course, Bon Voyage, and I'm 377 ZRS, and I was racing in 350 to 520. So most of the competition, the riders were 400 plus, had much higher 5 second power intervals. But I want to test myself against better riders so that I can improve. 19.5 miles, 509 feet. It goes right down to the wire here, and believe me, I was hanging on. There were lots of attacks, and I was hanging on. Watch this race. Here we go. Start of Bon Voyage, 19.5 miles. ZRS 350 to 520. I'm 377. So this is going to be a tough challenge for me. It's outside of my comfort zone, but we've got to ride with better riders because I want to improve myself. So I've had quite a lot of comments about improving my positioning and drafting throughout the race, so I'm not exhausting some of my energy and expelling it all in the first half of the race. So I've really taken that on board. And the aim is stay in the pack right to the end. There's 3 punchy climbs, so it goes around a loop, and I'm trying to remember the course. One of the recent stages and alley courses where there's this little punchy climb, probably about 700 feet, and people tend to attack on that. You can see from the graphic top right that reoccurs 3 times, and then it's pretty flat finish to stretch to the end. And I'm hoping to stay with the lead pack. There's only 11 on this EVO race series. It's category C. But I've looked at some of the riders, and they're all more powerful than I am. Got stronger 5 second power figures on the sprint, and they're all 400 plus apart from 2 riders. So if I don't come 11th, I've had a really good race, in my opinion. But I'm obviously trying to finish in the top half. That would be a tremendous result. So I'm just sticking in here, 220 watts average. Let's accelerate this. Take it up to over 5 miles. A lot of cobbles on this route. It takes in some of the French courses, and I think sticks a couple of them together, and a couple of repeat climbs, as I've said at the start. Thumbs up there. Get towards 5 miles at the top there. Nothing much going on really. There were a few attacks. Gasparin, the Brazilian rider, seems to want to put punchy attacks in and keeps the group honest, as you can see there. So we're coming on this first climb, little 3%, little drop here, and then there's perhaps 100 metres to the first banner, and I wanted to just keep in this pack, so I thought, right, let's just punch hard and make sure you're going through the banner in the pack, and then we'll take it from there. This is the second version of this climb, as you can see from the graphic on the right. Probably 2/5 of the race completed. 11.8 miles to go. There, safely onto the banner. I get caught up here. It's non-stop sprint banners, by the way, here on this course. You can see them. You see the green indicators, the icons on the top right. Obviously, no one's making huge sprints through them because it's 19.5 miles. 322 calories done, top left. Yeah, that's me through that little climb again. Thumbs up, which is good. Bit of encouragement. And on to the next one. Just stay in the pack. I don't know what I'm doing at the front there. Shouldn't have been doing that. Bit naive. I've seen other people and on other YouTube videos, and they race very, very smartly, and they sit right at the back of this pack. However, I've noticed that they have quick bursts of 600-800 watts to get back in the pack. Now, I can't do that. Well, I can mid-race, but it takes everything out of me. And I've got a feeling these riders who sit at the front, so I could sit, whatever, 9th, 10th, 11th here, but if someone does go on the attack, I'm really vulnerable to being dropped. So I've seen some of the comments, yeah, I absolutely agree. If I could save 40 watts by staying right at the back of the pack, and then just sprinting every so often to keep in. But I've noticed those riders put 600, 800 watts down to keep back in, and I can't do that, so I can easily be dropped. So I've got to stay in the middle towards the front of the pack, accelerate it forwards here. A lot of cobbles on here on this course. What's nothing really happening. 244 average, 243 on the left hand side, which is probably 3.2 watts per kilogram for me. It's all relative. So yeah, I'm going to TP about 255. So this is almost threshold for me. Through the banner again. So this isn't easy for me. I'm not just sat back. As you can see on the left, it was again a bit of a humid day in the UK, southeast of the UK. Getting those fluids into me. I had 5 minutes warm up, which is 5 minutes less than I usually do, which wasn't great preparation. A bit thoughtless of me there. You know, I should have had. There is someone sprinting for the banner there. That's probably the first time I've seen that. 4.8 miles to go, so I'm happy with my positioning. I should get a power up coming through here. Someone's gone off into the distance, but I know in a second we've got the descent and the pack will, thumbs up, brilliant. The pack will chase that individual down, especially with 4.6 miles to go, quite easily. Put an extra 50 watts on everybody. I'm at the back of the pack here because I was struggling, as you can see on the left, not because I'm playing it smart. I have to stand up to get back in the pack. So I'm feeling it now. Got a feather for. I'd love to leave that feather right to the death, but if I remember, I needed that coming up just to stay in the pack. D. Lewis on the right, playing a very smart game, conserving energy, and I think a very strong rider, much stronger than me. I think the whole pack here are much stronger than me. You can see at the bottom there are just the top 8 riders, I think 7 or 8 riders. Vermeulen is now 2 minutes behind this pack, so basically dropped. That gave me confidence because I thought, right, I'm going to be finishing the top 8. Brilliant. Worst case scenario, I've no right to be finishing in the top 8 out of 11 in this category, in my opinion. So that's a bonus. Give me confidence. 4.1 miles to go, 442 feet climbed, 15.5 miles gone, and we're cruising away. Little punchy climb there. Classically back onto the cobbles again. 4 miles to go. Third, well, that's irrelevant. I'm in the pack. I use the feather here. I think to be honest, I'm knackered at this point, and I'm just thinking, get down to 1 mile. I'm having to stand up on the flat, which is ridiculous with the feather. So that gives you an indication of where I was from a fitness point of view. And I got the thumbs up, which is good. I think they recognise, they must be able to see my video live. They recognise that I'm out of my depth in this pack and hanging on for dear life. That's the fun, surely. Pressed the wrong key there and I had the chat come up. Not great when I'm flat out. 1.4 miles to go. Here we go. 1 mile to go. So we'll just slow this down. 0.9. I'm in a good position here. Anybody else with 600 to 800 watt sprint finish would be delighted with this. I'm just sat behind the front 3. It looks to all the viewers that Guess I'm just chilling out there. Oh, I'll be there. 800 feet to go, and I'll put 800 watts in over the line in first. I have been watching a couple of YouTube videos recently. I can't remember the riders, but putting in 1200 watts for 800 meters and absolutely just blasting past 3 or 4 or 5, 10 riders at the finish from a similar position to where I am. I mean, that's if you've got sprint power like that, you're going to be winning races. And regardless of tactics, if you're in the a bunch of top 10 with 1 mile to go, 1,000 feet to go, and you've got 800 watts at 12, whatever, that level of watts under your belt, you can win any race. And that's not tactics, that's just pure brutal power. There's not much you can do against that, I'm afraid. So again, 0.4 to go. I'm in a real position here. Other people are having to use their power-ups. I hadn't saved mine, and I think they're using theirs. Concierge, you can see, 9 seconds ahead. He'd just gone into the distance, 8 seconds ahead. So first place was taken care of. Getting to 0.2 here. I'm absolutely knackered here. Having to stand up with 800 feet, and I wasn't intending to sprint there. I just wanted to stay and get a bit of respect, really. Can I catch Blythe just in front? 6th overall. Gasperin's actually behind me at this point. Thumbs up from Concierge, just finished. And I've got to say, I'm absolutely delighted with that. I could have almost got 5th. Really enjoyed that ride. If you did, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your support.